The movie begins in the vibrant city of Karachi, Pakistan, with a family of choristers, a group of melodious misfits, the descendants of Mr. Aceh, harmonizing their way through life. The eldest son proudly claims that it is their fifth generation of choristers. Because, who is counting, right? Similarly, Baban and his family also served the choristers for 5 generations. Baban is a slow man, an hour behind the whole world. As he enters the house of the choristers, he is met by Mr. Chote Khan, who is diligently practicing his chords. Chote Khan is overshadowed by his elder brother, Mr. Barai Khan, the apparent favorite of the family. Chote Khan has a son, named Wasim, but no one in the world, except Barai Khan, can control him. Barai Khan, being the elder brother, is the sole proprietor of their chorister group. He is a kind, but just man. Then there is Akbar, the son of Mr. Aceh's late daughter, who is as cunning as a fox, and Wasim's partner in crime. Legend has it that Mr. Aceh, a heartthrob and a phenomenal singer in his youth, but time has been less than kind. Now, since he is paralyzed, he is relegated to the sidelines, with only Baban as his loyal companion. Still, he clings to his pride in the family home. Because, well, someone's got to keep the legacy alive. In the next scene, we are introduced to a famous pop star, Ali, doing a concert. As he gets on the stage, the crowd goes wild, screaming his name as if their lives depend on it. After the concert, a girl named Saba rushes in for a hug, congratulating him on the success of his show. They snap a few photos, and that is when we meet our leading lady, Reshmi, Barai Khan's daughter and Wasim's betrothed. Turns out that when they were kids, Aceh Khan decided that they should get married when they grow up. Reshmi asks Saba for the concert badges, and in that moment, her beauty strikes Ali like a bolt of lightning. It is as if time stands still, and all that is left is Ali's awe-inspired gaze and Reshmi's radiant smile. Later, as night falls, Wasim can be seen sitting at a roadside tea shop, having fun with his friends. But things take a dark turn when someone dares to diss his family, and they get into a fistfight. Wasim's fury knows no bounds, and he returns home, seething like a tea kettle about to burst. Poor Baban bears the brunt of his anger, getting a beating as he opens the front door. Wasim retreats to his room and unleashes his frustrations on the conga drums. The sound of the music wakes up everyone, and they rush in to find an injured Wasim playing the drum. Upon seeing the spectacle, everyone leaves except Reshmi, who tries to bandage him, but Wasim shouts at her to leave. In the next scene, we see Ali and Saba stroll along the beach, enjoying the sunset and each other's company. Ali's curiosity gets the better of him, and he starts probing Saba about Reshmi. Saba rolls her eyes, knowing Ali's track record with women. But Ali is determined, declaring Reshmi his muse for his next album's title track. Meanwhile, in another corner of the city, Chote Khan's wife is counting her stash of money. She is furious about all the money that goes to Barai Khan, leaving them with scraps. But Chote Khan, the eternal optimist, calms her down, promising a brighter future, placing their hope in the marriage of Wasim and Reshmi. On the other hand, at Ali's place, a lavish party is in full swing. We meet his parents, Mr. Zain Qureshi, a cunning politician, and his mother, who is a saint. Ali and his father engage in a conversation about business and work, revealing their strained relationship because family drama is the best drama. Cut to the university, where Saba excitedly announces a party at her place to celebrate Ali's concert success. Reshmi hesitates, citing parental restrictions, but Saba persists. Reshmi finally agrees to try convincing her parents. Later, her mom attempts to sweet-talk Barai Khan into allowing Reshmi to attend the party. After some convincing, Barai Khan relents, because even strict dads have a soft spot for their only child. The day of the party arrives, and Reshmi is getting ready to slay. But Akbar, the resident snitch, spots her and rushes to tattle to Wasim. Furious, he storms out towards the house, jumps into the car, and tags along to the party. The girls exchange uncomfortable glances, but no one dares to kick him out. Upon arrival, Wasim's eyes widen in awe. But Reshmi is more concerned about his presence, knowing he is a total douchebag. Just as things start to get awkward, Ali arrives, and the party transforms into a fan fest. Everyone starts clicking pictures with him, but his eyes are only on Reshmi. As she helps Saba with lunch, Ali corners her, and she calls him out on his music-lacking feelings. But instead of getting offended, he is even more impressed by her sass. As the night wears on, Baban opens the door to find Reshmi in tears. Reshmi runs to her room, followed by Wasim, who is ready to unleash his inner beast and create a scene. He creates a ruckus, yelling at everyone to come out of their rooms. But before he can spew any more venom, Reshmi's mom drops a bombshell that Wasim got into a fight at the party, and the poor guy is in the hospital. She calls Wasim a stain on the family name. Wasim tries to defend himself by laying claim on Reshmi, but Barai Khan's had enough, slaps Wasim, and calls off the engagement. Wasim storms out, leaving behind a trail of anger and a warning that no matter what, Reshmi will always be his. On the other hand, Saba and Ali sip coffee at a trendy cafe, dissecting the day's drama. Ali is curious about Reshmi's musical prowess, and Saba spills the beans to him that Reshmi is from a family of choristers and shy girl, with she being Reshmi's sole friend. Later, Ali confesses that he thinks that he is in love with Reshmi. A shadow passes over Saba's face, because Reshmi is like a sister to her. A few days later at Zain Qureshi's golf game with politician friend Mr. Hamdani, Ali crashes the party, and it is revealed that Hamdani's daughter has her sights set on Ali. As the families lunch together, Ali suspects a setup because he is no stranger to his parents' schemes. He later confides in his mom, declaring his undying love for Reshmi, and surprisingly, his mom is overjoyed because unlike his father, she just wants to keep her son happy. Meanwhile, at Reshmi's house, she can be seen giving her grandfather some medicines when Wasim arrives. He accuses her of ignoring him for Ali and assassinates her, calling her a Furious, he tries to harm their grandfather and says that he wishes for his passing. As Reshmi shouts for help, Wasim leaves hastily. Later at night, the family gathers for dinner, and when Chote Khan turns on the TV, they see Ali presenting his new album, named Resham. The press conference raises some eyebrows, and the family exchanges awkward glances. But before anything could go wrong, the power goes out, drenching the whole family into darkness. This is when Chote Khan suggests that their children should get married now. At the suggestion, Barai Khan gets furious and leaves the dinner. On the other hand, Reshmi freaks out and calls Saba, worried about what Ali just did, by naming the album after her. Saba tries to defend her cousin, but Reshmi is not having it. She reassures Reshmi that Ali is genuine in his love, but she hangs up, warning Saba to not even think about it. Seeing her cry, Reshmi's mother approaches her and inquires about Ali. Reshmi confesses her concerns, but promises that she never led him on. Her mom hugs her tightly, a show of love and support. The next day, Akbar and Wasim are strolling down the street when they spot Ali's album posters plastered everywhere. Knowing that Wasim is an illiterate, Akbar, the master manipulator, convinces Wasim that the poster says Reshmi. In a fit of fury, Wasim goes ballistic, tears down a poster and storms home, accusing Reshmi of betraying him with Ali. After this whole drama, both brothers get into a fight, and angrily Barai Khan finally calls off the wedding. Chote tries to sweet-talk him into reconsidering his decision, but when Barai doesn't budge, he demands his share in the house. When Barai refuses, saying that he won't get anything until their father, Akai Khan, lives, Chote wishes harm upon him. Barai slaps him for his treachery. Things take an interesting turn when a news channel broadcasts fake news of Ali and Reshmi's wedding. They even went on to the next level and published edited images of Ali and Reshmi as a bridal couple. Angry at this, Ali calls the channel, threatening to sue them. He then decides to hold a press conference to clear Reshmi's name and protect her honor. On the other hand, Reshmi calls Saba, crying her eyes out. She claims Ali has ruined her life, and she is ready to meet her maker. Saba tries to calm her down, promising to fix things, saying that is what friends are for. But Reshmi is too far gone and hangs up the call. Later that day, Ali shows up at her place with his parents in tow. Upon seeing them, everyone is shocked, but still welcomes them home. Ali apologizes for the unannounced visit, but before anyone can respond, his dad, Mr. Zain, ruins the mood by insulting Reshmi's family. He accuses them of using Reshmi to try and trap his only son. Things escalate quickly, with Wasim arriving on the scene. He gets into a brawl with Mr. Zain and kicks them out of the house. As they leave, Ali catches a glimpse of Reshmi crying in the window. The next day, Ali waits for her at her university, determined to make things right. Upon seeing him there, she is shocked and warns him to not cross the limits. Ali apologizes profusely, admitting he should have spoken up sooner about his feelings, but it was his fault that he didn't wait. But Reshmi is done. She goes to her class, leaving him alone in the hallway with a clear message to stay away. After the fateful encounter, the two go their separate ways. Reshmi, most of the time, is lost in thought, while Ali roams the city, both trying to move on. One day, Reshmi approaches her father, who is angry at her, crying. She sits down on her knees and apologizes for whatever pain she might have caused. But Barai Khan's silence is deafening, his gaze piercing through her soul. She begs for forgiveness, pleading innocence in everything that is happening. Barai Khan looks at his daughter once and orders her to abandon her studies, leaving Reshmi shattered. Things get tense when media madness ensues, surrounding their house like vultures. A reporter even gets a slap from Wasim for calling Reshmi Ali's wife. Hearing the accusation, Wasim storms into Reshmi's room, hurling insults and accusations towards her. He calls her a cheater with tears streaming down his face. But when Reshmi runs out of the room, he makes up his mind to take revenge. Meanwhile, Ali gives an interview trying to clear Reshmi's name. Furiously, he warns the press to back off from his personal matters, threatening to take action if they don't, and to go apologize to Reshmi. Not knowing what awaits him, he goes on about his daily tasks, but Wasim tracks him down, issuing a warning to stay away from Reshmi or face the consequences. Born to win, Ali remains unfazed and declares his love for Reshmi, refusing to back down and promising that he will never leave her for a man like Wasim. Wasim storms off, vowing to destroy her. The next day, Reshmi ventures out to collect her admit card from the college, and Saba fills her in on Ali's intense feelings. She requests her to talk to Ali, but Reshmi is too afraid to make the call. The time passes, and Ali keeps waiting patiently to hear from her. One fateful night, she finally mustered up enough courage to dial his number. He is overjoyed at her call, sharing his feelings and confessing that she is the one who taught him what love is. As they get to know each other better, Ali's parents are having dinner with the Hamdani family, discussing a potential engagement between Ali and Hamdani's daughter. Hamdani is determined to betroth his daughter to Ali, but Ali's mother drops a bombshell informing them all that this is not possible, since Ali is in love with someone else. Seeing her daughter cry, Hamdani promises that he will make Ali pay for hurting his daughter. A few days later, Ali and Reshmi meet at a shrine, where she admits that she is afraid of whatever is going on, but Ali's promise to always keep her safe and respect her makes all the worries go away. On her way back, she feels love blossoming deep within her. As the two of them start falling deeper for one another, Ali's father, Zain, meets with Hamdani, unaware of the storm brewing. Over a game of chess, Hamdani threatens to ruin Zain's politics and life, fueled by anger and a desire for revenge. He declares war on the family, blaming Ali for his daughter's tears, saying that the wrath of a father is not to be underestimated. As Hamdani exits, he orders his henchmen to reduce everything to literal ashes. The scene then switches to a raging fire engulfing Ali's studio. Turns out that in spite, Hamdani ordered to burn Ali's studio to the ground. Upon seeing the news of this tragedy on news, Reshmi, concerned for Ali's well-being, rushes to call him, and his sadness melts away at the sound of her voice. As they hang up, his mom calls, worried sick about her son, and orders him home immediately. Ali agrees, but extracts a promise from her to visit Reshmi's family to ask for her hand in marriage. The next day, Ali's mom arrives at Reshmi's doorstep, bearing gifts and a heartfelt apology. Upon seeing her, Barai Khan leaves her alone with his wife. She requests to talk to her and apologizes for her husband's behavior the other day. She then expresses her desire to see Ali and Reshmi united, but Reshmi's mom, though understanding, remains firm, saying that she has no say in whatever her husband decides. Disappointed, she leaves. Later that night, both of the brothers get once again into a fight regarding their shares in the house and Wasim Reshmi's marriage. As the tension between the brothers escalates, their voices of hatred and anger echo through the halls, reaching the ears of the ailing Mr. Ache. Listening to the voices, his heart, heavy with sorrow, finally gives out, and he passes away in his son's arms. A few nights later, Barai Khan dreams of his father, angry at him and crying, demanding he fulfill his final wish to marry Reshmi to Wasim. He wakes up terrified, worried about Reshmi's marriage. It is then that he makes up his mind to marry the kids, as was his late father's wish. With this, the preparations for the wedding began. As Reshmi sits as a bride, sadness etched on her face, Ali, oblivious to the danger lurking, roams the streets. The night before her big day, she calls Ali to inform him about the predicament, but due to network issues, he is not able to hear her clearly. After the call ends, Ali spots a few men following him in a jeep. On one side, as Reshmi sits crying over her fate, Ali gets shot by the men, his life hanging in the balance. His friend takes him immediately to the hospital, and Saba calls and informs Reshmi. Reshmi's world shatters when she hears the news, her heart breaking into a million pieces. Not thinking about the consequences, she rushes towards the hospital. On knowing of her leave, Wasim, seething with anger, follows her, determined to claim her as his own. In the hospital waiting room, Reshmi is anxiously waiting for Ali's surgery to end, when his father storms in, blaming her for his son's predicament. To make things worse, Wasim arrives and tries to drag Reshmi away with him. But Saba calls the security, and they take him to the police station. As he is whisked away to the prison, Chote Khan arrives, begging the police to release his son, but they remain unmoved. Seeing his only son taken away, Chote Khan's world crumbles, his cries of agony echoing through the halls. Thankfully, the night of pain passes, and Ali finally wakes up after a successful operation. The first thing he asks about is Reshmi, only to learn of her impending wedding. He winces in pain, turning away, his heart heavy with sorrow. Meanwhile, at Reshmi's house, both brothers Chote and Barai Khan get into a fight. Chote calls Reshmi the reason why Wasim is in prison, and that Barai has always thought of himself. He insults his brother, and upon hearing the horrendous words, Barai Khan orders his wife to call Ali's mother and inform them that they are ready to marry their daughter to Ali. That night, Ali's father, Mr. Zain, visits the prison, seeking answers about the attempt on Ali's life. The culprits confess, revealing Hamdani's sinister plot to burn the studio and harm Ali. They tell him that the orders were to only injure Ali, but in the heat of the moment, Ali was shot. He orders for the men to be taken away, ensuring that the men face justice, his anger and sorrow palpable. Meanwhile, Akbar visits Wasim in prison, fueling his anger and obsession with Reshmi, and informing him about Barai Khan's decision. He encourages him to come out of this prison and take some action. Fueled by Akbar's words, Wasim vows to take drastic measures, vowing that if he can't have Reshmi, no one else will. He orders Akbar to keep a close eye on her, threatening violence if she tries to escape. The scene then switches to Ali, hospitalized and heartbroken, reliving the precious and bittersweet moments he shared with Reshmi. Many days pass, and he is finally discharged, his pain and longing for Reshmi still raw. Ali channels his emotional agony into his music, creating a soulful masterpiece that resonates with his fans. Seeing him in so much pain, even his father apologizes for what he went through. As time heals his wounds, Ali begins to rediscover life's joys. A few days after his return, he reconnects with Saba, who reveals that Reshmi's mom wants to speak with his mom, since life is full of unexpected twists and turns. And there might be some light at the end of this long, dark tunnel. The plot thickens as on the same day, Wasim gets released from the prison, bringing another twist to the story. Ali's parents also visit Reshmi's place. Ali's father apologizes for his past mistakes, and Barai Khan, being a kind soul, forgives him. But the story isn't so simple. Chote Khan's arrival adds a new layer of complexity, as he insists Reshmi is betrothed to Wasim, and he won't let anyone stand in the way. But that is not it. As Ali waits outside in the car, he sees Wasim entering the house. Seeing him, Ali follows behind. Turns out that Wasim holds a bottle of acid in his hand, and he rushes toward Reshmi to burn her. Ali intervenes just in time, saving Reshmi from Wasim's vicious attack. But in an attempt to hurt Reshmi, Wasim ends up dropping on himself. The movie concludes with a heartwarming union between Reshmi and Ali, a testament to the power of true love. Meanwhile, Wasim, who once let his obsession and anger guide him, now lies in the same place as Chote Khan, a stark reminder of the consequences of his actions.